What's up, guys? Brian Circuit Fitness here, and we left off talking about anabolic steroids. So I'm just gonna continue from where I left off on. So let's say I'm a guy using anabolic steroids. Oh, I'm gonna get ripped. My nutrition is so bad. Now, what does anabolic steroids do? They stunt the growth of your muscles, and it's not only that. When you're usually taking steroids, and of course, when you're taking steroids, you're not getting the macronutrient, micronutrient, macromineral balance that you need, and you'll most likely be malnourished. You'll be getting so many empty calories. And guess what the anabolic process is going to do? So it's overriding your body, as I would say it. So it doesn't matter what you eat, you're still going to gain, of course. And when we usually, if compared to me, like you don't, and compared to everybody, you don't gain muscle unless you have good nutrition, unless you have a good workout plan that you can trust. You're doing everything your body requirements. You're doing all of them. And a guy that's taking anabolic steroids that pops the pill open, and let's say he's eating really badly, and he takes the anabolic steroids. Now the thing that it's doing is it's going to get the muscles and the basal metabolic rate, vascularity, and muscle tone to a point. But then guess what? Because there's no nutrition applied by the catabolic breakdown, nothing is getting processed. Guess what is happening? Mostly in forms of constipation, inflammations, and bloating. Now, I want you to guess what's happening. Take a moment. What's happening when this guy is, of course, he's eating really badly, and he's going to get vascularity up to a point, his metabolism up to a point. He's going to get his muscles up to a point, hypertrophy. But guess what? They won't grow anymore because guess what? You need that catabolic breakdown. If you don't have that, you don't have anabolic breakdown. You don't have the metabolites. You don't have them supporting your muscle fibers. You don't have the muscle fibers supporting your blood vessels. Your blood vessels supporting the muscles. You don't have all these nutrients being intake. These nutrients and macrominerals, vitamins. You don't have them being processed. And the main thing, as I talk about this almost every day, I think to myself, is that it's really sad that people, they eat unhealthy, and people that are like this, that use anabolic steroids. And the thing, as I was just saying, you'll get your muscles up to a point, you get your vascularity up to a point, your veins, your muscle tone, your metabolism up to a point. But guess what? It's not going to grow any farther. It's not going to experience any growth. It's not going to have a capacity to grow because guess what? You need nourishment. Sure, the anabolic steroids, the thing that it's doing, it's making sure that you can't develop your muscle fibers type 1. You can't really interact with your metabolites, which your metabolism really makes, and the offspring of your metabolism, it's not being made. So guess what? The blood vessels, they're not getting in on this. Muscle fibers aren't getting in on this. The muscles aren't getting in on this either. And many people will notice that if you do not change, even if you're on testosterone replacement therapy, you're replacing your testosterone that your body already lost with artificial testosterone. Now, the thing that you're doing, you're going to get your body up to a point, but it's not going to function any longer. Like, you see people that are eating donuts or whatever, they have a high basal metabolic rate. And the thing is, they can consume these many calories that are usually empty, followed by no nutrition at all, no nutritional value. They get this because, again, they were born genetically gifted. They can eat this. Oh, just because they're burning off their calories, they're increasing their caloric intake to be hypercaloric instead of hypocaloric, which many overweight people are being. But So it's basically your metabolism. It's helping you that way. You can eat anything, you burn it off, you get it off right there. But guess what? You're not going to be gaining muscle. You're going to be burning off the calories, keeping the same muscle mass, same muscle weight, how much muscle you have, same muscle tone, same vascularity. You're not going to be growing anymore because you need your blood vessels, your metabolics, you need your muscle fibers, you need them all to interact with your muscles. You need them to flow with your whole body. They need to be a cohesive family. It's like they need to be like modern family, I'd say. I'm joking. Just to be like any if you think about families, you really think about the perfect family. There's no perfect family. So if you think about that, you really want them to be a perfect family. As I said, anabolic steroids is going to create a unnatural anabolic breakdown. Again, that does not need a catabolic breakdown. You need the anabolic breakdown needs the catabolic breakdowns as a stress because you need that nutrition. You need that to grow muscles, to gain in vascularity, to decrease fat. You need that nutrition to build your basal metabolic rate. And when again you don't have this nutrition, the thing is that the anabolic steroids are compensating for. So it's compensating for instead of you usually as I just said, it's compensating for usually if you were to basically if you were to eat healthy, if you were to get your anabolic breakdown along with your catabolic with your anabolic breakdown, if you were to get them both together, the thing that it's doing is it's creating an unnatural breakdown, as I said, and because of that, your muscle mass is going to stay the same. Your body fat is going to stay the same. Your vascularity is going to stay the same. Your basal metabolic rate, but up to a point, as I just so anabolic steroids is going to be compensating for actually eating healthy and gaining muscle. You're not going to be gaining muscle. You're not going to be really increasing your vascularity, decreasing fat intake, increasing your basal metabolic rate. You won't be doing any of this stuff because the anabolic steroids are compensating for this nutrition that you don't even have. You don't need to have nutrition. The thing is that these anabolic steroids, and along with the growth hormones, they make the body, they force the body to do horrible things that the body was never meant to do. They make it stay the same. They override what our body was meant. It was meant. If you're going to consume empty calories, you're going to be malnourished. If you're going to consume bargain foods and foods with high nutritional value, then again you're going to increase your metabolism, your immune system, your muscle vascularity, your muscle tone, get into a hypertonic state, muscle tone higher than normal, your muscles too, as I just said, and decreasing your fat level. But the thing is that anabolic steroids, no, I'd recommend not to do them because you're going to retain in fat most likely because, again, it can only go so far. What the anabolic steroids can do is basically like defying the laws of physics, defying what our bodies were meant to do, that we were supposed to get the nutrition in, and we were supposed to get the catabolic breakdown. We can't just have the anabolic breakdown without the catabolic breakdown because that gives us the nutrients, the minerals, the vitamins to process to again affect our metabolites being made, produced by our basal metabolic rates and the muscle fibers affecting the blood vessels supplying oxygen to the muscles. And because the anabolic steroids are compensating for that nutrition that we don't need to have, we can keep the same muscle mass, same vascularity, and this is compared to a regular person. You can do this too, but you're going to slightly have even more muscle because again, if you do think about this normal person that would be eating empty calories, sure, he's usually going to be skinny, but when you're on steroids again, you're going to gain a little bit of muscle mass. You're going to gain a lot of fat really quickly because again, that's one of the effects. And you're going to gain a lot of acne. You're going to build up your testosterone, if you're using testosterone replacement therapy, it goes along with growth hormones like testosterone. When we talk about testosterone replacement therapy, and that the people who are taking anabolic steroids and compared to a regular skinny person who eats empty calories all day, gets no nutrition, gets no micronutrients, macro mineral, it has no balance. You're going to be malnourished. You're usually going to form blood sugar low to high. You're going to have a corrupted carbohydrate level. Blood glucose is not going to be regulated by insulin and glucagon, which it cannot. Your blood glucose level is supposed to regulate your blood sugar, which it cannot regulate your blood sugar at this point because of the way you're eating, how many carbohydrates you're taking, and the way you're eating, basically, how many empty calories that you're getting in. And compare this to a person who does anabolic steroids. The thing about that is that they'll look big, but you notice that people that take anabolic steroids, they'll reach this point that their body, that they can't gain any more muscle. It's a limit for gaining muscle. And when we think about a normal person who has the catabolic breakdowns, processing the micronutrients, the macronutrients, the macro minerals, we think about a regular person is that they can keep building their basal metabolic rate. They can keep building their state of vascularity, their muscle tone. They can keep building their muscle fibers. They can keep building their metabolites. They can keep building their immune system. They can keep building the muscle and they can keep decreasing it because they're applying by the rules of our body to eat healthy, to get that into the catabolic breakdowns to process what we eat, and to get that into the anabolic processes breakdown to actually utilize what we get in the catabolic breakdowns to form small muscle fibers to complex muscle fibers to type 2 muscle fibers that have more of a capacity to grow. And as I mention this all the time, I wanted to take a video, I want to take a minute with you guys to talk about this because this is something that's really critical. People need to know is that anabolic steroids is that it's going to be overriding what your body was meant. And the anabolic steroids, again, they're compensating for the nutrition that you don't have, but they're going to make sure that everything stays the same as a skinny person who just has a high basal metabolic rate. And the same thing is they burn off the calories. They burn off the calories they get from the food. But the thing from this is that anabolic breakdowns, they're going to be more powerful. It's going to skip the muscle fibers type 1. It's going to go to muscle fibers type 2 and build a complex one already. And it's building even more. And the thing when we talk about blood vessels, when we're thinking about occlusion, the blood vessels not being able to, no blood circulating, no supply to muscles. When we really think about occlusion, when we talk about this, is that, let me tell you guys, so occlusion is, of course, when the blood vessels, they cannot deliver, they cannot supply the oxygen to the muscles, and it's going to lead you to your peak. It's going to be hard to again train with this, your muscles, and it's going to be worn out already. And the people that are usually having these anabolic, followed by anabolic steroids, these anabolic breakdowns that are overpowered, that are over 9,000. Dragon Ball reference that you guys, that not even one of you viewers would ever guess, because I think that you viewers are not faithful to me. I think that you're just going to leave at the end of the day, see what I have. You're going to say shitty videos, and I'm going to say, okay. But the people that, again, are taking anabolic steroids, that they're going to remain the same, but again, it's going to be a little bit different from the skinny person that's burning off all the calories, gaining in that caloric intake is going to be empty calories, so no gaining in muscle, but remain the same, so you can kind of save yourself. But the thing is, you cannot save yourself. In a skinny person cannot save themselves for insulin sensitivity, insulin resistance, when the hormone insulin cannot regulate the blood glucose level, leading to low to high blood sugar. You cannot prevent cardiovascular diseases, deaths to happen. You cannot prevent heart attacks to happen. You cannot prevent all these things if you're going to be eating the foods that is going to be causing them. The foods that are high in fats, foods that are high in sugar, caffeinated beverages, all these things. I just wanted to make sure that you guys get this information straight up. And of course, when I was talking about occlusion, what happens, it's going to be more common in people that take anabolic steroids. Bye, guys. Brand Sick Fitness out.